Eksena sa isang silid-aralan. Makikita natin si Alex, isang batang may autism na nakaupo sa isang sulok habang nakatingin sa kanyang mga laruan. Mayroon siyang kinakausap na kanyang imaginary friend habang ito'y naglalaro.
Alam mo, friend, pinagtatawanan nila ako. Buti na lang meron kayo. Dito kayo sa tabi ko.
Nagtatago ng kanyang pagkabahala si Binibining Castro kay Alex.
Alex, tara na. Oras na ng klase.
Ito po kaibigan ko, ma'am. Laro po tayo, ma'am.
Makalipas ang ilang araw sa bahay, makikita natin si Alex na nakikipaglaro sa kanyang kapatid na bunso. Ngunit biglang mayroon silang narinig na malakas na ingay sa kanilang bakuran.
Sabi mo sa akin, wala! Wala ka talagang hiya! Mga anak, nasa kayo sa loob, may nag-aaway sa labas. Tara na!
Pinapatuloy ni Alex at ang kanyang kapatid ang paglalaro sa loob ng kanilang bahay. Kinabukasan, oras na naman sa kanilang pasukan, makikita natin si Alex na nagpupumilit sa kanyang ina na huwag siyang ipasok sa paaralan.
Mga anak, tara na sa paaralan ninyo.
Ma, ayoko pumasok. Masakit sa ulo.
Anak, mahalaga ang edukasyon mo. Tara na.
Pero ma, masakit sa ulo.
Alex, tara na. Kailangan nating pumasok. Tara na, Alex. Malilate na kayo.
Sa loob ng campus, makikita natin na si Alex ay nakaupo lamang sa ilalim ng puno habang nilalait at pinagtutulungan ng kanyang ibang mga kaklase.
Alex Baliw! Alex Baliw! Sa akin na to! Ano yan? Kawawa! Umiyak! Iiyak na yan! Iiyak na yan! Alex! Ano bang nangyayari sa'yo?
Sila po ang masasamang tao.
Huwag mong hayaang makontrol ka ng iyong galit, Alex. Nandito ako at ang pamilya mo para sa'yo.
Ilang minuto lamang ang nakalipas, nagkaroon ng earthquake drill sa paaralan nila Alex. Sa sobrang takot niya ay tahimik siyang nagtago sa lamesa na siya lamang mag-isa.
Alex! Tara na! Kailangan mong sumama sa amin!
Ayoko po!
Alam ko natatakot ka, pero para to sa iyong kaligtasan.
Pagka-uwi ni Alex sa kanilang bahay, napansin ng kanyang ina na di na ito lumalabas sa kanyang kwarto. Kaya naman, todo alala ang ina ni Alex sa kanya.
Bakit mahirap maging ako?
Anak Alex! Anak, kamusta ka na?
Ma, bakit ako ganito?
Anak, ikaw ay espesyal. Hindi mo kailangan tanungin yan kung bakit ka na. Ang mahalaga ay mahal ka namin at nandito kami para sa'yo. Dito.
And the pain that you're feeling gradually fades away. 'Cause growing up, falling in love, giving your all might not be enough. Just trust your head and your heart. That's what my mama said.
Good day, each and everyone. So, I am Alex from Group 1. So, today, our group were assigned to present what is intellectual disability. So, when it comes to intellectual ability, it's all about our cognitive. So, it's all about brains. So, let's go deeper. What is intellectual disability? So, what is an intellectual disability? So, intellectual disability or ID is a term used when a person has certain limitation in cognitive functioning and skills, including conceptual, social, and practical skills such as language, social, and self-care skills. So, intellectual disability, often abbreviated as ID, so refers to a condition in which an individual experiences limitation in various aspects of cognitive functioning and skills. So this limitation can encompass conceptual abilities such as reasoning, problem solving, and understanding. So social skills, including interpersonal interaction and communication, and for practical skills like self-care and navigating tasks daily. So individuals with intellectual disabilities may face challenges in areas such as language development, social interaction, and managing basic life tasks. For the second bullet, people with intellectual disabilities can and do learn new skills, but they learn them more slowly. So the term mental retardation is no longer used as it's offensive and has a negative tone. So despite the challenges associated with intellectual disability, so individuals with this condition are capable of learning new skills. However, their learning process may be slower compared to those without intellectual disabilities. So it's important to note that the term mental retardation is considered outdated and offensive due to its negative connotations and stigmatizing effect. As such, it has been replaced by the more respectful and neutral term intellectual disability. So, in professional and societal discourse. So, this shift reflects a broader understanding of the importance of using respectful language that promotes dignity and inclusivity for individuals with disability. So we have here IQ or intelligence quotient. So IQ or intelligence quotient is measured by an IQ test. The average IQ is 100, with the majority people scoring between 85 and 115. So a person is considered intellectually disabled if they have an IQ of less than 70 to 75. So IQ or intelligence quotient is typically assessed through standardized IQ tests with an average score set at 100. The majority of individuals score between 85 and 115. So reflecting a range of cognitive abilities considered typical for the general populations. However, individuals with an IQ below 70 to 75 are classified as intellectually disabled. So this threshold is used to identify those who may face significant support for individuals with intellectual disabilities. So now let's talk about the symptoms of intellectual disability. So we have here 9 symptoms. So first is failure to meet intellectual milestones. So intellectual disabilities can manifest in developmental delays where individuals struggle to reach typical milestones and cognitive abilities such as solving, reasoning, and understanding. So the second one is sitting, crawling, or walking later than other children. So delayed motor skills development, so including sitting, crawling, or walking, so may indicate underlying cognitive challenges associated with intellectual disability. So the third one is a problem learning to talk or trouble speaking clearly. So difficulties in language acquisition or articulation can be early indicators of intellectual disabilities. So reflecting challenges in cognitive processing and communication. So the fourth one is memory problems and inability to think logically. So intellectual disabilities often entail difficulties with memory retention and logical thinking, making it challenging for individuals to process information, make connections, and solve problems effectively. So the fifth one is inability to understand the consequences of action. So individuals with intellectual disabilities may struggle to grasp cause and effect relationships, so leading to difficulties in understanding the consequences of their actions and making appropriate decisions. So the sixth one is childish behavior inconsistent with the child's age. Just like the video that we have shown to you, which is Alex has that childish behavior. So that's a symptoms of intellectual disability. So intellectual disability may result in behaviors that appear immature or out of sync with the individual's chronological age, reflecting challenges in social and emotional development. Okay, so the seventh one is lack of curiosity. So reduce curiosity or interest in exploring new ideas, activities, or environments can be indicative of intellectual disabilities, reflecting limitations in cognitive engagement and learning. So the eighth one is learning difficulties as IQ below 70. So a significant discrepancy between an individual's intellectual abilities as measured by IQ tests and those of the general population can signify intellectual disability. So often resulting in challenges with learning and academic achievement. So lastly is inability to lead a fully independent life due to challenges communicating, taking care of. So inability to lead a fully independent life due to challenges communicating, taking care of oneself. Okay, so this one is intellectual disabilities can impact an individual's ability to communicate effectively and perform daily living tasks independently. So necessitating support and assistance to meet their needs and participate fully in society. So we have 10 behavioral issues when it comes to intellectual disability. So first is aggression and dependency. So individuals with intellectual disabilities may exhibit aggression as a response to frustration or difficulty communicating their needs. So dependency can also arise due to challenges in problem solving and decision making, leading to a reliance on others for support and guidance. So withdrawal from social activities. So social withdrawal can result from difficulties in social interaction and communication. So as individuals with intellectual disability may struggle to understand social cues or feel uncomfortable in social situations due to their differences. So the third one is attention-seeking behavior. So seeking attention may be a way for individuals with intellectual disabilities to fulfill unmet needs or gain validation and support from others, especially if they feel misunderstood or marginalized. So we have depression during adolescent and teen years. So the so adolescence and teenage years can be particularly challenging for individuals with intellectual disabilities. So, as they may experience a feeling of isolation, low self-esteem, and struggles with identity formation, leading to depression. So the fifth one is lack of impulsive control and passivity. So difficulties in impulse control can lead to impulsive behavior. So while passivity may result from a lack of initiative or confidence and decision-making abilities, both of which can be characteristic of intellectual disability. So tendency towards self-esteem. So individuals with intellectual disabilities may face challenges in academic and social settings, leading to feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth, especially if they perceive themselves as falling short or of societal expectations. So the seventh one is stubbornness and low self-esteem. So stubbornness may stem from a desire to maintain control or resist change, while low self-esteem can result from repeated experiences of failure or rejection, contributing to a negative self-image and reluctance to engage in new experiences. So the eighth one is low tolerance for frustration. So difficulty in managing frustration can lead to emotional outburst or withdrawal when faced with challenges or setbacks, as individuals with intellectual disabilities may struggle to cope with stress or adversity. So the ninth one is the psychotic disorders and difficulty paying attention. So individuals with intellectual disabilities may be more susceptible to developing psychotic disorders characterized by hallucinations or delusions, and may also struggle with attention deficit, affecting their ability to focus and engage in tasks. So lastly, um, physical characteristic. So some individuals with intellectual disability may exhibit specific physical characteristics, such as short stature or facial abnormalities, so which can be associated with certain genetic or developmental condition, often co-occurring with intellectual disabilities. These physical traits can sometimes aid in diagnosing underlying syndrome or condition. So we have here cause of intellectual disability. So intellectual disability, formerly known as mental retardation, can be caused by injury, disease, or a problem in the brain. So for many children, the cause of their intellectual disability is unknown. So intellectual disability previously referred to as mental retardation, so can arise from various factors affecting the brain's development or functioning. So injuries to the brain, such as those resulting from accidents or trauma, so can lead to intellectual disabilities by disrupting neural pathways or causing structural damage. Diseases affecting the brain, such as certain infections or degenerative conditions, so can also impair cognitive functioning and contribute to intellectual disabilities. Additionally, genetic or congenital issues such as abnormalities in brain structure or metabolism may be underlying causes of intellectual disabilities. However, in many cases, the exact cause of intellectual disability remains unknown, highlighting the complex interplay of genetic, environmental, and developmental factors. Some causes for the second bullet, some causes of intellectual disability such as Down syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, fragile X syndrome, birth defects, and infection can happen as being born or soon after birth. So several specific conditions and factors occurring during or shortly after birth can result in intellectual disabilities. Down syndrome, a genetic disorder caused by an extra copy of chromosomes 21, is one such example, leading to developmental delays and cognitive impairment. So, fetal alcohol syndrome can occur when a fetus is exposed to alcohol in utero, so leading to brain damage and intellectual disability. So, Fragile X syndrome, a genetic disorder affecting the X chromosome, can cause developmental delays and cognitive impairment. Birth defects affecting the brain structure or functioning, as well as infection contracted during pregnancy or shortly after birth, can also contribute to intellectual disabilities. So this condition highlights the importance of prenatal care and early intervention in identifying and addressing factors that can impact a child's cognitive development. Treatment of intellectual disability. So we have four treatment of intellectual disability. So, treatment approaches for intellectual disability aim to address the individual's specific needs and challenges, focusing on enhancing their quality of life and promoting independence to the greatest extent possible. So, therapy. So, behavior therapy involves teaching individuals with intellectual disabilities adaptive behaviors and coping strategies to manage challenging behaviors and improve social skills. So, this therapy often employs positive reinforcement techniques to encourage desired behaviors and reduce problem behaviors. So, occupational therapy. So, occupational therapy focuses on helping individuals with intellectual disabilities to develop the skills needed to perform activities of daily living, so such as self-care tasks, vocational skills, and leisure activities. Occupational therapists may provide intervention to improve fine motor skills, sensory integration, and functional independence. So, counseling, also a treatment for intellectual disability. So, counseling or psychotherapy so can be beneficial for individuals with intellectual disabilities, so as well as their families and caregivers to address emotional and behavioral challenges, develop coping strategies, and improve communication and social skills. Counseling sessions may be conducted individually or in group settings, depending on the individual's needs and preferences. So we have here medication in some cases. In some cases, medication may be prescribed to manage co-occurring conditions or symptoms associated with intellectual disability, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. So, anxiety, depression, or aggressive behavior. Medication management should be carefully monitored by a healthcare professional to ensure safety and effectiveness, taking into account potential side effects and individuals' response to treatment. So overall, a multidisciplinary approach involving various professionals, including psychologists, educators, speech therapists, and healthcare providers, is typically employed to create an individualized treatment plan tailored to the unique strengths and needs of each person with intellectual disability. So this holistic approach aims to maximize the individual's potential, promote inclusion and participation in society, and improve overall well-being and quality of life. So we have here levels of intellectual disability. So levels of intellectual disability are categorized based on the severity of cognitive impairment and individuals' adaptive functioning abilities. So mild intellectual disability. So individuals with mild intellectual disability typically have IQ scores ranging from 50 to 70. So they may experience some difficulties in academic and social setting. So, but they can usually learn practical skills and function relatively independent with appropriate support. So they may benefit from special education services, so vocational training and community support programs. Moderate intellectual disability. So moderate intellectual disability is characterized by IQ scores ranging from 35 to 49. So individual with moderate intellectual disability often require more support in areas such as communication, self-care, and social skills. They may benefit from structured environments, individualized education plans, and vocational training to help them develop practical skills and achieve greater independence. Severe intellectual disability. So severe intellectual disability is associated with IQ scores ranging from 20 to 34. So individuals with severe intellectual disability typically have significant impairments in intellectual functioning and adaptive skills, requiring extensive support in all areas of daily living. So they may have limited communication abilities and may need assistance with basics, self-care tasks, mobility, and safety. So the last one is profound intellectual disability. So profound intellectual disability is the most severe level of intellectual disability. So characterized by IQ scores below 20. So below 20. So America is like IQ. So individuals, so individuals with profound intellectual disability have profound impairments in intellectual functioning and adaptive skills, requiring intensive support and supervision for all aspects of daily life. So they may have limited or no communication abilities, so significant physical disabilities and complex medical needs. So these categories provide a framework for understanding the range of cognitive abilities and support needs among individuals with intellectual disability. So it's important to recognize that each person is unique and their abilities and support requirements may vary within other people. So individualized assessment and intervention are crucial for meeting the specific needs of each person with intellectual disability and promoting their overall well-being, quality of life. So we have also here levels of intellectual disability. So other intellectual disability. So people in this category are often physically impaired, having hearing loss, are nonverbal, or have a physical disability. So this category encompasses individuals with intellectual disabilities who may have additional physical impairments, sensory impairments such as hearing loss or visual impairment, communication challenges such as being nonverbal or having limited language skills, or significant physical disabilities. So the presence of these additional factors can further impact the individual's cognitive development, adaptive functioning, and overall support needs. So individuals in this category may require specialized interventions and accommodation tailored to their unique combination of intellectual and physical challenges. So unspecified intellectual disabilities. So if your child has unspecified ID, they will show symptoms of ID, but their doctor doesn't have enough information to determine their level of disability. So, unspecified intellectual disability refers to cases where individuals exhibit symptoms or of intellectual disability, but their level of impairment has not been specifically determined or categorized by a healthcare professional. So, this may occur when there is insufficient information available to assess the individual's cognitive abilities, adaptive functioning, or underlying causes of their disability. So while the presence of intellectual disability is recognized, the exact nature and severity of the condition remained undefined. So further evaluation and assessment may be necessary to provide a more accurate diagnosis and develop appropriate intervention strategies to support the individual needs. So lastly, we have here the limitations of intellectual disability. So first, intellectual functioning, also known as IQ. So this refers to a person's ability to learn, reason, make decisions, and solve problems. So intellectual functioning, commonly measured by IQ tests, encompasses a person's cognitive abilities, including learning, reasoning, problem solving, and decision making skills. So, individuals with intellectual disabilities often face challenges in acquiring and applying knowledge, understanding abstract concepts, and adapting to new situations. So, this limitation can impact academic achievement, vocational success, and independent living skills, making it more difficult for individuals to navigate various aspects of daily life and achieve their full potential. So, adaptive behavior. So, these are skills that are necessary for day-to-day life, such as being able to communicate effectively, interact with others, and take care of oneself. So, adaptive behaviors refer to the practical skills necessary for independent functioning and social interaction in everyday life. So, these skills include communication abilities, social skills, self-care skills, and the ability to effectively manage daily tasks and responsibilities. So, individuals with intellectual disabilities may experience difficulties in acquiring and mastering these adaptive behaviors, leading to challenges in maintaining relationships, participating in community activities, and achieving autonomy. So, lack of adaptive skills can also contribute to increase dependency on others for support and assistance with daily living tasks. So overall, the limitation associated with intellectual disability can significantly impact an individual's quality of life. So interpersonal relationships and overall well-being. However, with appropriate support, intervention, and accommodation, individuals with intellectual disability can enhance their abilities, maximize their potential, and lead fulfilling lives within their communities. So for more information, you can visit this reference to to have more information that you needed. So thank you everyone. So thank you for listening and thank you for your time. That would be all and have a nice day.